So on a Sunday, and this come up through a friend, and I just couldn't help it. He mentioned it to me about a week ago, and I've literally been waiting for him to come back to me, and I thought, oh, nothing's going to come of it. And then I got the call saying, Rob, that car's yours. When would you like to collect it? When can you get it picked up? So I reached straight out to Ricky and said, when can you go and get it? And he said, I'll go right now for you, Rob, which was amazing on a Sunday. So he popped straight down to Herne Bay, picked this one up. Chris is not here. He's out with his girlfriend, so I guess he'll see it as soon as he gets home. But let's let Ricky out the gate and take a look. I've come in on a Sunday when no one's here because I bought another cheap Land Rover. And Chris is going to get home later and he's going to see it there. And I know you're going to say, it's a 2 litre Ingenium. It's no good. Something's wrong with it. Of course there's something wrong with it. That is exactly why it is here. And I went and got Ricky to pick it up on his lorry. Now, I'm not going to get into actually what's wrong with this one. But let's just say it was running yesterday. But of course, it is a 2 litre Ingenium. And there's some issues with it. This actually comes from a friend of mine. And he has had enough of it, to be honest. And that is why I've ended up with it. It is auto, very, very nice car. Well, I think they're very nice anyway. Quite a lot of you don't. But it was cheap, and I love a cheap Land Rover. Let's pick up on Monday morning and see what Chris thinks. So I bet you had a bit of a shock, didn't you, when you drove in last night?
I did a little bit, but a pleasant surprise because it's not smashed.
It's not smashed up.
But I'm sure there's a story with it.
There is a story with it. Of course, I didn't even mention this car to you. It's come from a friend of mine.
Right.
He bought it, it was 3 years old. It's on a 67, this, Chris.
Right.
And it was
Quite a
very...
straight car, isn't it?
Yeah. All he done was a comparison website. Not We Buy Any Car, but one of the car things. And they offered him, he said, this is what they've offered me, Rob, I'm going to let them have it. I said, no, let me make it up to the next number and I'll buy it off you.
Right.
He's like, come and get it, I am sick of it. He bought it when it was 3 years old, so 67. 24,000 miles ago, he put it into a Land Rover and had a brand new DPF fitted at £3,000. So this is his wife's car, she uses it. It's come up last week, again, DPF, there's an issue with it. But he knows that he can go down the motorway and do a regen. So he's jumped in it, lives in Herne Bay, took it down to Faversham at 60, held it, turned around, come all the way back. I can't remember where he said he'd come off, and it just cut out, said restricted performance. I have noticed that it's got no diesel in it. It says at 0 miles. So I don't know if it's run out of diesel doing a regen, but he said he's had enough of it.
The thing is, as we know, I don't know how many times they've regen it. There's not an infinite amount of times you can do a regen because it produces ash.
Soot content.
Well, it burns the soot off, but produces ash that blocks the DPF after you've done it enough times, as we know previously.
We do.
We've had it before, haven't we? So, but if it's cut out and it's got an engine, what did it say?
Restricted performance or engine malfunction. I can't remember exactly what he said.
So
it
is non-runner.
It's a non-runner, but I'm just assuming it may not be, it may be, but he said it had 16% fuel before he set off. And myself and you know, it uses a lot more fuel.
It does overfuel,
trying
doesn't
to
That's
do
right,
a regen.
That's right, yeah.
So, I mean, Ricky's had all this out because he had to put it into neutral. I told him not to try and start the engine.
You mentioned it was his wife's. Did she do a lot of short
journeys, I should think,
so,
mate, yeah.
But
it's a lovely model, though. A very nice car.
Well, I was saying, the panels are very straight on.
They are very straight. It's got a couple of curved wheels.
Yeah,
it's got a scuff on the bumper he sent me a picture of.
Oh, yeah, look
you
at that.
You can see there. Yeah. And it had a private number plate on it. So, now it's got, it's going back on its original red.
I think the battery might be a bit low on that.
I've got the keys here in my pocket, so I'm just waiting on might be, a bit low, mate. Yeah. But yeah, nice model. Going to be a 9-speed auto.
Well, what are you thinking? Put the scanner on it or just try and start it?
I don't think it's going to start, Chris. I think it wants some fuel in it, honestly.
Really?
I've got the keys on me, but the battery's quite low. Oh, it says 10% fuel now. Oh, it has got fuel in it.
I think put the scanner on it and see what it says.
Yeah,
and we go from there.
Yeah, definitely.
But it does sound like DPF, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we do know they are a nightmare to do. So also what they do suffer with, I know it seems like we're waffling on here, but it was one of these we've had to buy a DPF for because they crack.
They do, yeah.
So what one
That
was
was the
The red
last
one.
Evoque we done, wasn't it?
Yeah, the red one. We had to buy a brand new one
Yeah.
for it, and it was quite expensive. Right, let's get the scanner out then. Get some diesel in it.
Yeah, let's
give it a go.
Yeah, see what happens.
So straight on it, the first day that Chris sees it, and we are on it. And out with the battery pack. Of course, the battery's flat. It's been sat around for a while. So he's got the charger on there. Get the charger on there. I'll whip down and get some diesel. Chris is making out a bit of a funnel, of course, because you need to on these cars. They got like the anti-siphon thing on them. So he's made a funnel up. I'm back. Let's stick £20 worth of diesel in it and check the oil. As you could see there, we made a £20 investment in some diesel, but while I was gone, Chris dipped the oil, and we need to make another £20 investment.
Which is a bit worrying.
Yeah, it's not actually showing anything on a dipstick, and may I add, you've just watched it on the time lapse, I've already put 1.5 litres in it.
It's not good, is it?
It's not good, and I know somebody's going to say this should have 0.30 in it, but for the purposes of our own seeing if this vehicle is a runner, we're going to put what we've got available at the moment.
Right. So that's right. We're just using leftovers.
Yeah, I mean, this does hold 6-point-something litres, so if it's got a couple of litres gone, it's not the end of the world. Oh, look,
that's
on
the wrong one.
It's a new can, isn't it? We'll stick some more oil in it, get it at least showing up the dipstick, and then I think
scan it and see where we're at.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be
How much is in that one, Chris?
A litre or so.
Yeah,
about a litre.
Do you want me to chuck that in,
Yeah,
mate?
chuck that in, mate.
All right, I'll get you to take that.
I've got oily hands.
Oh, that's right, you can cut it off now. I was just...
Yeah, chuck that in, and I suppose, like I say, scan it, clear the faults or read the faults, and then we're...
Sorry, Chris, little tip. Can you come around this side? You always ask me, don't you, to put the oil in?
Yeah.
And people say, oh, I want to go to put the oil in. It's like, gulp, gulp, gulp. Always turn your can sideways. Completely stops that. And whether that's with oil, screen wash, antifreeze, brake fluid, any of them. Turn your can sideways and you can see it's allowing the air to get in and it's stopping that gulping so it don't make a mess. Right, let's check that dipstick.
All right, mate, shall I cut it off?
Yeah.
There?
Of course, on every new build, before we even buy the car or consider buying it, we get the registration details and run a check using Car Vertical. So 2017, this is a 67, so that just means it's a late 2017 Land Rover, Range Rover Discovery Sport. Or Land Rover Discovery Sport rather. So odometer, all good, financial and legal, all good, and damage there, all good. 2 owners found. Of course, on the Car Vertical check, you've got your overview, your theft, odometer, financial and legal, damaged, natural disasters, your market values, taxes and fees, specs and equipment, overview, and one of my favourites, the timeline. So on this one, you got 11 records found. Now, there'll be every MOT that this car's had, the registration date, when it was on sale, when my friend purchased it, and you will also see on there if it's failed any MOTs. So had a licence plate change there. I know that it previously had a private reg on it. Is if there is an issue with your vehicle when you're running a Car Vertical. So this is just a sample report produced by Car Vertical, and you can see there's a lot of issues on this one, clearly highlighted in yellow. It's an Audi 2017, an odometer there needs attention, financial and legal needs attention, and damage needs attention. What you can do is just click on the one that you want, and it brings up, beware, this vehicle may have a mileage discrepancy, and it will go down, it will show you the mileage graph, and you can see that there's a huge rollback there of 13,000 miles in this car's history. Also, if you click on the financial there, it does actually say may have financial restrictions, and you can go down and it says there there, unit stocking, you click on more details and it actually brings up the document number, the term, the finance company and their contact number. It doesn't on this particular check, of course, because it is only an example. And of course on damage there, it says we found one record, and it does actually tell you there that it's a category S, and it gives you the write-off date for that vehicle. I want to thank Car Vertical for the continued support on the channel. To benefit from a nice little discount off your check, use that code that's been displayed up on screen throughout this check in any browser, or hit the link in the description where it will automatically divert you to Car Vertical and include your discount. So just going through it with the scanner, like Chris said there, see if it's got any codes. I'm thinking it's going to have quite a few, of course, because again, the battery's flat. Surprise, surprise, we get it on every vehicle. Yep, lots of codes. Let's take a look at the important ones. Definitely not going to moan about the struggles we're having with the sunlight today.
No,
because it is lovely.
It is warm.
Nothing we didn't, it actually says there, exhaust filter full, visit workshop, and I've only just seen that. You can see now the fuel is between half and a quarter of a tank, so we've got plenty of fuel. But after doing a scan, diesel particulate filter restriction, soot accumulation, bank 1. Vehicle condition incorrect for diesel particulate filter regeneration. Invalid data received from transmission control module. This is going to be a flat battery thing. Cylinder 4 glow plug, cylinder 4 glow plug circuit, park neutral switch input. Now Ricky's put that into neutral. Transfer case neutral, that's what he's used. Another one now. And then body control module, interior luggage compartment, lid release switch, again voltage. Front sensor, power circuit, rear sensor. Yeah, all related to flat battery.
Now, I know we're completely guessing at the moment, aren't we?
Of course,
yeah. Refresh my memory here. We've had one of these before that the block DPF caused the turbo to expire.
The red one.
Was it the red one because of the back pressure?
Yeah.
Could it be the same thing, and that's why the oil's low and it's the turbo's gone and we've got oil in the exhaust?
100% possible. I need to find out when it was last serviced, because this has done 97,000 miles. It probably does burn a little bit of oil. I don't know.
I suppose all you can do is see if it starts now.
Do we clear the codes? I mean, we've got...
You might as well, yeah.
I can click on this diagnostic tool. People are always asking what one we're using. We've got loads, and I say it every time, they're all the same. No matter what make they are, they've all got the same sort of software on them. But you can click report on this, and you can actually save this as a job. So what I'll do, I've already done that actually, I'll save that and then clear DTCs. It will clear them all, but when you go to crank it, of course, 9 times out of 10 they do come back. But I'll give you that because it's nearly done. Don't worry about how dirty your hands are, mate, that's fine. 70%, 74.
Let's just check that. Yeah, you're gonna send it.
I think so, yeah.
Might as well, aren't you?
Right, one's come back. Vehicle condition incorrect for diesel regen, but it has only got one code. That's possibly because it's stalled halfway through the last one.
They have to have a certain amount of fuel in them to do it, don't they?
You ready?
Yeah, go on, send it.
That chain.
Something don't sound happy, does it?
That chain or turbo?
That's turbo.
I've turned that off.
That's turbo. Yeah, I've not heard one make that noise before, but it's coming directly from the turbo.
Rattling.
I mean, I should imagine that is fallen to bits.
Yeah. Do we now whip off the intake and the exit and just have a look? Because didn't one of them have a bolt in it as well, and we found it in the airbox?
We did, that's right.
It's all flooding back to me now.
That's one of these, wasn't it?
Shall we quickly get the tools out and have that off?
I think so, yeah.
We'll at least do it until we can. It's lovely and warm out here, isn't it?
I think we need to get it.
Well, it starts.
Have a look in that turbo, don't we?
Let's have a look. So straight under the bonnet. I do struggle here leaning over these cars. I am only 5'7", and I know they're not really high, but it is awkward when you're only short and you're leaning over trying to undo a lot of stuff. Thankfully, Chris has got that height advantage, so he can get in there and get all of those bolts that are stuck right down the back of the engine. Later in the video, you will see me standing on a wooden block to reach stuff. course, we live in the real world and we appreciate you really couldn't see a lot there on time lapse,
No.
but there's not a great deal you can show. So just those covers,
Yep.
they're 8 mils and there's 113 that holds it there. So we whip those out with my nice new ratchet spanners Chris got me for my birthday. Thank you very much.
That's it, you're welcome,
Making
mate.
use of them already.
Good.
So we whipped all those 8 mils out. Chris whipped out the fuel filter housing,
Yep.
because you've got a bracket that goes underneath here that goes to the DPF. Then it all comes flooding back, doesn't it? There's 3 down the bottom, so I've had to lay underneath. But we've managed to get that moving now.
Yep.
The DPF's loose. We still can't see the damage, but you ready, Chris?
Should I put me?
Yeah.
That's inside the turbo.
Yeah.
But can't quite.
Reach the spline. We're going to have to strip more
We
out.
need a bit more room there, don't we?
I would say at 24,000 miles, that DPF's going to be all right with a clean,
Yeah.
because it's done nothing, has it, really?
No.
So
No.
that definitely needs to come off and be cleaned.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not the engine and it is just the turbo. But
I mean, we've had mixed success with cleaning them ourselves, haven't we?
yeah,
We done one where we left it overnight, and it did clear it, didn't we?
it did, yeah.
So maybe we get someone in, or we remove it and get it professionally cleaned.
I think definitely you're barking up the right tree there about getting someone in, because quite
Yeah.
often people say, have you tried a DPF guy? And there's various people doing it on the internet, but I think we will do that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't need a whole new engine, we'll see.
That's right.
Should we carry on stripping then?
Yeah, we're going to have to, aren't we? Because, I mean, it's looking promising that it is the turbo, isn't it?
Mate, you shouldn't have oil leaking by like that.
It shouldn't
so-
be full of oil
yeah.
there. And that noise, I know it couldn't pick it up on the mic, but it definitely sounded like the noise was coming from there, didn't it?
I myself, and I know you do as well, love an investigation like this.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
you can't beat it, can you?
No, and we are determined to find out what is wrong with this. Let's continue on. So just continuing on here with it, I've just had to pop out again. I can't even remember what I've gone out for. Oh, Chris is taking all the inlet side of it out, and I've actually gone to get us a nice cold drink because it's really hot. But back and straight back on with it. I am undoing all of the bolts that I can do, leaning over, right over the back there. Those 13s in the back of the turbo are a nightmare, but I've made a start on moving the heat shields so that we can actually get to those. Okay, as far as to say, mate, all people have seen of us today is the back of us. It is so. Look, I've got a booster seat there, and let me tell you this: anyone that's done one of these or previously seen myself or Chris do one, you need all of that to undo 3 bolts, and we still ain't got to one of them, which is a nightmare. We have got the inlet, we've got the exhaust side, everything's undone. Oil feed, oil return, actuator removed, air pipes, everything is removed. We've even removed, you can see all of that, and there's actually just a brief look in there, you can see there is quite a lot of oil in there. But that noise, Chris did start it up after, and we both established it was 100% coming from that turbo. So we want to get it off. We've previously done it. Now, we have previously done it by removing this. It does give you 1 extra little inch there, doesn't it, believe it or not? But we got 1 bolt left on that turbo, and we are committed we're going to get that out. I think we do have to get on it with that one.
I think we might have used that previously as
Oh,
well.
I didn't even have that one up here, yeah.
To reach round, sort of in there, reach round and under.
Get that first
Just
crack on it, yeah.
And then it's kind of get a bar in here and move the DPF out of the way.
Yeah.
And get the spanner in there and sort of...
A minuscule turn at a time, and it is, I mean, that's going to take us a good tidy while to get that out of there. And sometimes the nut comes out, sometimes the stud comes out. It is one of them, I'm afraid. It's one of them situations. We are just going to continue on and find the issue with this car. Well, we're convinced it's that, but we want to get it off anyway, don't we?
Yeah, I'm convinced when we get that out and we show that'll be falling apart in there.
Chris did put his fingers in this side and say there is a little bit of play in there, which is, you don't want any play in there, but it's whether the shaft snaps, whether the nuts come off. I'm keen to see it. So let's just continue on until we get that out. It is warm going in this weather though, mate.
It is.
I'm really sorry that today it's pretty much you're just seeing loads at the back of us. So going down underneath there, just seeing if I can get to the bolts on the DPF and get that moved over a little bit, give us a bit more room. or was that further back in the video? Am I collecting the tools that we dropped down on the under tray there? Regardless, whatever it is I'm doing, it's a nice, hot, long day, and we are coming to the end. So, with that off, in your professional opinion, are you allowed to use the words that you would use to demonstrate that?
Let's say it's toast.
Toast.
Rob. Yeah.
So
do you want to?
So this is the intake side, and you quite quickly established when you removed that earlier. It's got some play in there.
Quite a lot of play.
Quite a lot of play, 100%. And what I mean, the bearing could collapse and cause that issue, and then it make an elongation. But moving round to the other side, and this is what we couldn't get to. You can see how deep in. But I'm gonna say that is knackered.
That's the worst one yet, isn't it?
That is definitely the worst one yet. So that is no longer, if you spin the other side just to demonstrate what I'm looking through there, it's not even connected.
No, it's not. Should we, we've probably mentioned this before, and I appreciate a lot of people probably already know, but you've got a oil pressure feed into the top there.
Yep.
And a drain, oil drain
return
there. And that is lubricating that shaft. And that is why, when that's gone like that, we've had oil actually flood into the exhaust, but also into the intake side. So the engine's been drawing that in and burning it off. So we're going to have obviously oil in the intercooler, and it's burnt some of the oil, but it's a double whammy. We've had unburnt oil, if you like, go down the DPF, and that's why, because all the time the engine's running, it's pumping it in, and that's going that way, and that's why the oil was low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably worth mentioning as well. Now, Danny, I bought this off, did say that he did try to do a false regen. Now, he drove it from Dargate to Faversham and back. That is approximately 14 miles. Gunning it at 60 in the same gear, trying to get it to do a DPF.
A regen.
A regen. Where that soot content, or that ash rather, is so high, the pressure that turbo's been under is what has obliterated that turbo.
Right. That's right.
So it's gone through, and basically you've got your inlet that side where it's drawing in air, and then it's blowing out your engine fumes and smoke.
Are driving it and
pressurising it down that exhaust, and it's just gone bang, but and given up.
This has effectively had back pressure build up, hasn't it?
Exactly.
That it can't get rid of.
No. So the turbo was doing its job, but it had nowhere to go and nowhere to give. And of course, this is sealed very, very tightly to that DPF. With that DPF blocked, it had nowhere to go.
I mean, you probably can see, look, that shaft is not very substantial. I don't know if you're going to see that in there, Rob, are you?
Let me try and zoom in a bit. Oh,
see that?
Yeah.
So it's not, you're not talking, you know, it's not going to take a lot, is it?
No.
But of course it's made like that for the least amount of resistance.
For sure.
To make it as efficient as possible. So anyway.
Hopefully that little education lesson.
Now that was tricky how we done that.
Yeah.
And in an ideal world, we wouldn't have had a car on the ramping pieces, on the lift. We'd have been able to put this in and remove the DPF first.
Absolutely.
And what we will do next week, once the workshop's clear, is we'll put this in, we'll remove the DPF to have cleaned, checked, etc. But we'll fit the new turbo before we ever put the new DPF on.
Absolutely.
That DPF back on, because that will make doing that bolt particularly a lot easier. Or that stud and that nut a lot easier, won't it?
Chris, how hard
was a battle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a battle.
Right.
All right, mate. So you're going to have to get on the phone.
I'll get that sorted.
We have previously used cassettes, but the last one we did a complete exchange unit.
We did, recommended by Josh.
And we're going to stick to that, aren't we, in the future? So
it was only a year ago we bought one of them brand new, and it come to £340. Let's see how much it is now.
I think it was less than a year, actually.
Cost of living's only gone up 10% though, Chris, don't you know?
Well, no, inflation's meant to be 2%.
2%,
I don't know
is
where
it?
they get that from.
No, me either.
Not in my world.
Right, let's get on the phone. What a long but productive day for myself and Chris there. I think these are horrible to do. They are awful. There's no getting away from it. You cannot glorify it. They are not a great job to do. Everything's very fiddly. Everything is very tight. But I think that scares people off from these cars, which makes it better for us because we get them. Of course, when we buy these cars, I always allow for a complete engine when I'm making an offer for the car. And when they arrive and you don't need an engine and you can put a turbo on it, a DPF and a few other bits and pieces, of course that just means more profit for you at the end of it. So it is really, really fiddly to do. It is not nice work to do, but nothing phases us. And of course we just crack on with it. That is going to be the end of today's video. As usual, if you did enjoy it, we'd appreciate that thumbs up. Drop your comments and your thoughts in the comments section down below. And don't forget, if you haven't already, you can follow us on our other socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. The link for all of those are in the description down below. Don't forget as well, if you've got a damaged car, crashed, or it needs engine work and you want to sell it to us or offer it to us, you can reach out, sales, S-I-U-K, @gmail.com. I'll also link that in the description down below. So when you're watching the video, where it says description, just click on more and you will find all of the links down there. Don't forget, like, subscribe and share, and we'll look forward to seeing you all very, very soon in the next one. Oh yeah, and of course, no joke.